Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Alliance Forever. Today, I have a 4v4 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the southwest, ending with Team 2 in the northeast. Starting off with Team 1's Amethyst Purple player of Rayla going first land as an Aeon. He is a 2100. Continuing on northwest, we have the Stitch Blue player of Terraria going first land as a UEF. He is a 2500. He is the highest rank on his team and tied for the highest rank overall in the game. Again, he's going first land in Stitch Blue to his northwest. The best color and faction combination of all of Supreme Commanderdom. It is Waffles Noob going first land as a UEF in Forest Green. And last but not least, for Team 1, it is the glow-in-the-dark green player of Fong going first land as another UEFA for his team, going second air as well, and he is a 1700. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 3 UEF and 1 Aeon, which means no Seraphim and no Cybrins. For Team 2, starting off with their southern easternmost player, it is Balanced Slave going first land as a UEF in lightish red-pink. He is the highest rated player on his team and in the game overall. Well, he's tied technically with Terraria in on Team 1. To the northwest in Rust, we have the Seraphim player of Resistance going first land, second land as well. He is a 2100, and again, he is in Rust. The Ruby Red player on Team 2 is known as Dreamer Lazy going first land as a Seraphim, as his nearby teammate is as well. He is a 1900 going second air. And last but not least is the Emerald Green player of Nomander going first and second land as an Aeon. He is a 2100. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 2 Seraphim in the middle with a UEF and an Aeon flanking them, which means in all of the game there is no Cybern units. Apologies to those Spiky Space Socialists, but there are a decent amount of UEF. Love to see it, of course, because I am a UEF main. And, of course, let's go ahead and take a look at the reclaim currently still on the map for our players to scoop up in at 2.5 minutes. We have 25,000 reclaim, which is a little bit over 2K mass per player to scoop up. And in terms of mass point layouts, well, there is a ton of mass points for our players to scoop up behind their front lines, that being their main bases. Kind of interesting to see players line, well, at least the Roxas map generator, have the players line up, not in the corners of the map, but kind of towards the middle of the map. So they can go backwards to grab a lot of mexes back there, but there are mexes in the middle to be fought over. Quad mechs here and quad mechs here, at least, with a couple of spattering of a couple of mexes kind of dotted around the middle lineup. So there are reasons to go for the middle, but there's a huge amount of effort from multiple players on both teams to go behind their front lines and go after those back line mexes. There is a nice little T1 Selen here for Dreamer Lazy going after a couple of those mexes that were built. Maybe he killed off an engineer. No, has not, but there is an engineer nearby. That might be the first kill of the game. Engineer tries to make his way forward, but actually just goes for a T1 wall facility. Try to just protect himself, trying to spam them out as quickly as they can. This engineer trying to do what he can to survive. Tries to hide behind that little T1 wall section. Look at him just trying to finish it up, trying to find his safety hole, but no. He is killed off by that Selen. A lot of effort just to kill that one lonely engineer, but it does slow down the expansion efforts of Waffles Noob and suck up the APM at a minimum. There's a bomber on its way with that friendly little Snoop providing the intel. Bomber will drop its payload. Selen will dodge. Snoop is trying to get into range. Engineer, again, going after those mexes here, trying to get that early eco up and running. There is, of course, a nice striker online as well, and that will be able to hopefully take out that Selen. That Selen still dodging a ton. Does hit up, and there it goes. That Selen took a lot of the APM from the early game here, but of course we are dealing with players from 17 to all the way to 2,500 ratings, so that little bit of APM micro usage isn't really that much of an issue. But of course, as the game taxes on, the players will also be taxed. Even at, at 2,500, that your subcom brain really sets in. It's usually later for these higher ranked players, but still, no one is immune. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone being immune to subcom brain even if those who chug Gamer Sups or what's another, G Fuel or Monster or whatever you might chug, coffee, some people chug coffee, nothing will be able to deter the onset of Subcom Brain. We do see in the East, it is Ecom Action Prefer, Tawari, and Balance Slave. The highest ranked players on both teams just have some discussions about the way their other team is playing here. Terrari is at 10,000 hit points, a little bit under 11,000, and Balance Life about the same amount. T1 Facilities just going to be spamming about to try to mess with the microing of the comm. We do see the comm of Rayla coming in to assist. It's a 2v1 scenario now. Balance Life will be forced to depart, but we do see movement out here from the teammate of Resistance with his units to come and assist on this eastern side. Balance Life is in the yellow. Rayla going to push that issue, just constantly force back Team 2. But of course has to be very careful because this string of units could easily overwhelm that comm of Rayla. But Rayla not going to give up the fight here, going to constantly just press and press and press. We'll get a couple of veterancy points for those T1 striker kills, but here come the Thams outbound from Resistance. But we do see the comm of Terrari kind of shifting in that direction as well, coming into probably a swarm or kind of have a nice hook maneuver here. We do see some interceptors flying over to protect against some bombers that may come. Rayla going after the T1 Thams as they should, getting that veterancy. We do see T2 tanks already online for Balance Life. He pumped out that T2 very, very quickly. And really just skyrocketing that eco here for himself. He's currently sitting at 49. I mean, straight for T2 probably. Looks like we build a couple of T1 tanks. We see some shields coming online here. Those parashields coming to assist the comm and those T2 pillars. But with two comms, I mean, they're both in yellow. One in the lowish yellows. Has to be very careful not to die here. Balance Slave could see a murder-suicide situation happening if the AoE explosion from Rayla does impact the comm of Balance Slave. But Terrari is close by as well. That could be not a good scenario for a teammate as well. Rayla is sub 2,000 hit points. We could see the first kill of the game. And I do want to at least split it just for a second just to see what's going on that western side. Team 2's falling is pushing back. Team 1's falling, pushing back Team 2's player of Nomander. Nomander has speed and range on board that Aeon Commander. Rayla actually pushing forward, not going backward, which is what Terrari is doing. Wants to put themselves between the units inbound here from Balance Slave and the units outbound here from themselves. We do see those blazes coming in. We could see an early, again, murder-suicide situation here on the cards. I think I'm going to end it. I thought I saw more action going on, but I guess not. T1 tanks going after some T1 units here against Dreamer Lazy up there to the northwest. But Rayla just focusing down the combo of Balance Slave. Balance Slave falling below 2,500 hit points. Very crucial because if Rayla's in air. Yes, there was just about to say it. And they do it anyways. Control K means that both Rayla and Balance Slave will die, leaving Terrari over here going for a nano repair. It went from a 4v4 to a 3v3. Resistance says why, probably to Balance Slave. But, I mean, sometimes you want to go for that kill, and sometimes it bites you in the butt. But that was definitely a good play here from Rayla. They were going to die pretty much anyways, but wanted to secure the kill on Balance Slave, take out their highest rated competition on Team 2, that being Balance Slave. So, was it, again, perfect decision? No, but I'd say it's probably a net positive here for Team 1. And of course, this is full share, which means all of the units and structures will be transferred over to the highest rated player remaining, that being Resistance here for Team 2, and Terrari will inherit everything that Rayla did, which does obviously make sense because they are on this eastern side. Nano repair almost online here, and that will prove very, very useful for using that comm on the front lines, going for gun immediately afterwards to assist, of course, in using that comm aggressively. We do see more movement here from Team 1's Waffle News, pushing back Dreamer Lazy in the middle. We do see T2 on the way here for Fong, going to build a nice fire base up here to again lock in Nomander's position. Doesn't want him expanding and gaining ground in the middle of the map. And there's that T2 army with a couple of Team 1 units as well. Here for Waffle's move, just forcing back both the players of Resistance and Dreamer Lazy. We do see Resistance getting into it with those units, but there are a couple of T2 units. Has to be very careful. Doesn't have gun. or any veterancy on board that commander. So again, is the just bog standard, just right off the assembly line there from commander. We do see a nice little battalion. What? Squad. We nice see a squad of a couple of blazes and some T1 tanks. We do see some Ilshis coming online here for resistance, though. That will prove very invaluable. Those blazes are not going to go anywhere, especially with that T2 Utashala coming online. And there that goes up in smoke. This game is kicking off very, very quickly here. We're not even at 13 minutes. 2 players have died, 1 from each team. Team 1's player of Terraria going for T3 at 22%. Team 2 for Nomander trying to get a nice, nope, going for gunships. And I think that's the only T2. Yeah, it's the only T2 air facility. So Team 1 going to have a slight advantage in that regard. And T3 units online here for Terraria. Has a couple of those Titans. Wouldn't be surprised to see some Perseus. And here we go. The move, like the retreat, well, the coordinated, movement to the east / retreat here against resistance probably will force the upgrade to be canceled. There's a couple of Ilshis and T1 PD, but with these amount of pillars, it's not even gonna matter. Even with more units coming in, it might force the combat resistance to just fall back. And these units actually not even going to go for the kill, just decide, nah, it's not really worth it. We're going to kill your base here and call it a day. Just take out your eco and your infrastructure and just cut our losses there. Doesn't want Team 2's player of that would probably be Nomander getting that triple base. So definitely something you have to weigh in these games, especially with higher rated games, is if a player just gains a bunch of mass very, very quickly, especially this early, that could really just set the onset for the other team's loss. So if Team 1 were to kill off Team 2's resistance, I feel like that would put Team 2's Nomander in a huge position. But he's being forced back quite heavily here in the middle. We do see it's a little bit, no, it's pretty much the middle of the line, but there are some Triads online and the combo of Waffles coming in to assist. So now it's a 2v1 scenario. Now that resistance is kind of knocked out for the time being, we do see Waffles Nuke kind of shifting in that western direction to assist with that pushback and sending most of his units to the east to assist both Terraria's movement to the east to take out Team 2's Balance Slave's old base, not owned by Resistance. And these forces here coming in to just protect against those T1 bombers overhead. Titans moving in to assist. T1 PD trying to be spammed up, targeting the engineers, trying to take out all of that engineering support. There go the engineers, getting a nice little AoE bomb from those bombers. And interceptors fight over the top, but Team 1's Terraria should have T3 air now, or pretty soon. It's at 88%, so yeah, pretty soon. Terraria is starting to be a little bit surrounded here. Cannot escape. This is a plateau, so he cannot just kind of rush down the side. Needs to be transported. Terraria goes, nah, it's a lot of Ilshis, and it's just going to sit there. Terraria might actually just die from this. And it's, again, like I said, it could be dangerous if one of Team 1's players gets 3 bases. Terraria will be killed off by all of these Ilshis. There he goes. This base is just kind of getting torn asunder, though, but Team 2 does have a consolation prize of taking out their highest players competition, being that Terraria on Team 1 at 2,500 rating. It is now a 3v2 in favor of Team 2. But again, Team 1 now has one player with 3 bases, that being Waffles Noob. He's a 2,300, so nothing to scoff at. He is very good at this game. So are all the other players in this game. And that's why I like these high-rated games, because this is the high-octane, the just constant back and forth. I mean, we had 2 players murder-suicide here in the east, and another player die out before 15 minutes. T2 facility will be taken out by these Titans and these Blazes. And this was his entire base here for Team 2 just gone. It was, again, originally owned by Balance Slave. And we do see Resistance building his facility once again here in the middle. So he's pretty much on the back foot for the time being, giving a lot of time for Team 1 to really build up infrastructure, build up eco, build up units. I mean, we see T3 air and land already online. That's going to be multiple T3 UEF facilities and an Aeon going for those Asylum T2 Shield. We do see a lot of T2 units outbound here from Dreamer Lazy's going for those Yenzine, those T2 Hover. And Tactical Missile on the front line, just kind of sitting there, just being like, hey guys, you want to come say hi? You can't, because there's some Triads, and I have a gun on board, and T2, and 2 veterancy, or Star veterancy, so no. If you come say hi, I will shoot back. And now we see T3 just kind of proliferating around the map. It's really just outrunning those T2 units, those Ilshis, whatever else is chasing them. And Titan in the backline going after some mechs here, trying to assassinate that eco. Don't know what he was shooting at, but the Titan does kill off another mechs here, going after another mechs. Really needs to go after the T2 ones. That would definitely be the best. That one bomber is still going after that Titan. Titan at 4-star veterancy, though, wrapping up 24 hit points a second. And every veterancy is 10% more hit points. So it really makes them very, tanky to deal with. Gunship coming online here now to try to deal with that Titan. Going after the engineers, slowing down the expansion of those, single ringed mexes. We'll pretty soon see probably dual ring mexes here with those T2 mass fabs assisting those storages. But again, 15 minutes, 3 players are dead. 2 on team 1, 1 on team 2. And Titan's just running around the map, bullying everyone, whether that be Dreamer Lazy or Resistance. We aren't seeing any really run-bys here from Team 1's Fong. He's focused more on defensive measures and eco, it looks like, as well as, of course, just holding this western side. He has 2 comms' attention, which is very good because it only leaves 1 comm on Team 2 to really just manage this entire middle and eastern side. And you can see this huge just pockets of just not great front line, and very easy for just, units to burst on through. You can see a group of units moving into intercept, and these units falling back, looking like they're going to either size up this position against Resistance. They could actually just push on through and go maybe after the T3 land headquarters, go after some T2 mexes, go after this facility over here for Dreamer Lazy. They could really just devastate the landscape, but they've fallen back for the time being, more focused on building up and really attacking at once instead of just kind of poking and prodding, which there is something to be said about doing both tactics of kind of just having one push and that's it. But again, when you have an opportunity where an entire just section of the map is devoid of units, you can see the movement is going into intercept the reinforcements here from Dreamer Lazy. They could have easily been sent over and dealt with the mass income for him and really just hamstringed him in terms of eco. Reducing Autumns now coming online here for Resistance, forcing back those just army and mob of Titans here. I'm surprised to not see Percy's yet. They are, of course, more expensive than the Titan, but I'm kind of surprised to not see them as of yet. Like I said, there's multiple T3 land headquarters facilities online. They're just pumping out Titans. I don't see any Percy's. Yeah, there's all Titans. Maybe it's just too early. No, there's T3 Autumns. No. There's definitely time for Percy's. And now Autumns are the main battle tank and unit here for Resistance. I think Team 1 really needs to transition to the Percy's. They got a lot of Autumns now. Go Percy's. Thank you, Terrari, for letting me know that, hey, I know what I'm talking about here. He needs to go Percy's. And, of course, the Titans can overwhelm, any unit. And, again, 1,000 of anything can kill anything. The Titans overwhelming the Ilshis. The Ilshis are essentially the T2 version of the Titan. Very fast, decent amount of hit points. Fire very, very quickly. But this group of units really, it's just sandwiching on top of all these Autumns, focusing fire on the highest damaging units first. That being the Autumns. And then going after everyone else. You can see it's really just eviscerating this front line. A lot of Titans have died in this encounter, but Team 1 will come out ahead. It does come, obviously, to the fact that Wapo's Nuke can just pump out units with 400 mass income. And Fong only sitting at 53 mass income. He's really just kind of hanging out, and he's now transitioned over here, just kind of running around the map, trying to get some nice little engagements. Using that tactical missile launcher on board to really go after those mexes in the backline. TMD will be built in response to that, but how long will it take to get to that point? He's actually killed off another mech back here. It's really just devastating Team 2's Nomander's eco here. We do see some Swift Wind. Actually, those are the ASF and some Swift Winds online. Going after the Interceptors here from Team 1, as well as some ASFs that are kind of camouflage their way into being in that Interceptor formation. And now that all the ASFs are dead here from Nomander, those ASFs, the air superiority fighters, showing their superiority and going after those Swift Winds. It's really just a wrecking shop here. We do see a nice little flak cannon online as well to kind of assist in that manner. But Resistance now suffering a huge issue here with multiple Titans just getting into the back line. T1 PD trying to be spammed up. They're targeting the engineers, preventing any more buildup of that PD, but this could be devastating here. Team 2 still suffering from that other Titan that came in and took out the Mechs back here. And now there'll be more Titans online. Two T1 PDs are online. They can output a decent amount of damage. And some of the Titans are splitting off from the main group to go after other measures. But we don't see an AA cannon. I would have loved to see a flak or something to take out those bombers. But they're going to do tons of damage here against Team 2. There are multiple gunships inbound as well. Transports laden with some Othams going into the backline to deal with these Titans. Those Othams could have been used on the front line, but all of this attention to the back of the map allows for Team 1 to either refocus, build their eco, or continue to press the front line. We do see Resistance, of course, trying to stem any sort of forward momentum here for Waffles Noob. A lot of his forces are congregating here in the middle of the map. This side on the east kind of just there to prevent any sort of incursion on that eastern side. But, I mean, we haven't seen the water really be used here on this eastern side. We could see a couple of Othams kind of just dip their toes in the water, go around, and go after this quad position down here with those, what was that, 24 mass income until those get ringed with some mass storages. I mean, that's not a lot, but it could make a difference. I mean, any mass that you take out for your opponent does make a difference. But when your opponent is producing 500 mass per second, 24 isn't that much. But it's really only if those were T3 mechs, single ringed or even dual ringed, that would really make a difference. We do see Nomander now pushing back. Fong cannot out eco Nomander. Nomander producing double the mass than his opponent, which means he can just produce more units, more PD, more shields, more everything faster, quicker, which is the same word, and just essentially be more efficient essentially with his mass and not have to just be on a shoestring budget or shoestring budget. That's what the phrase is. YOLO? Maybe that's what he's talking about. I mean, Team 2 is the only one that has access to YOLO technology because they have 2 Seraphim commanders. I don't see any movement for that. And speaking of, trying to win the game or trying to end the game, let's talk about what's going on so far. 21 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. Team 1 has 647 mass income and is getting up to 650. Team 2 at 480, so probably call that about 500 just to round it off, make the numbers a lot easier to deal with in my head. That is 150 more mass income for Team 1, and part of that is just due to their sheer map control. There are a couple of mechs they can easily go after, but for the most part, they've just been constantly assassinating mass points all game, especially on this eastern side here. They take out an entire player's base worth of mass over here to the east when Balance Slave kicked the bucket due to Rayla's Control K. And of course, Team 2 at 3 players left, Team 1 at 2 players left. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. And of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell to be notified when I do post. I do post on the regular, but there is once in a while where I do click 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time versus 6 o'clock or whatever the case may be. So again, make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you haven't done so already. I do appreciate every single one of you, and of course, helping the channel reach over 1,000 subscribers. We can't see the exact number anymore on the channel, which is kind of annoying. I kind of miss when YouTube actually did that. I can see how many is the exact. I think it's 1066. I think it's 1066 or something like that. It does, of course. I don't track it while I'm doing a video. But again, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it as I ramble on about my subscriber count or whatever. But again, thank you so much. And of course, let's get back under it. We see multiple groups of units being built up here in the east for defensive measures for the most part. They're nice attacking force. We see a bunch of Percys here. There are some Titans still and some Pillars and a couple of T1 artillery. So it's a good mix of units. I would like to see probably a little bit more flak, some T2 AA or even some T3 Cougars. Just 1 or 2 of them just to kind of deal with any sort of gunships that do kind of come by. But I do love this broadsword going after a couple of those sniper bots. The lightning tank takes the other 2 out, but it takes out at least a couple of those sniper bots. This force actually moving northward, viewing this base is not really worth going after, and will go shift over in the direction after Dreamer Lays. It looks like they're actually going to retreat. There are more Othams than they anticipated. The Percy's going to get a nice engagement of this. There's a lot of overkill here, but those Percy's doing a ton of work just killing those Othams off very, very quickly here. And that's multiple just Team 3 units just kicked off the map. There's another one that gets killed off. I mean, and the mass is starting to be big, big numbers here. Currently still on the map. We started with 25,000. We're up to 31,000. Our players are very adept at going after reclaim very, very quickly. We already see Team 2 at 100,000 reclaim and Team 1 at 55,000. But obviously, Team 2, I mean, they're essentially, that's the only reason they're in the lead in terms of mass totals is due to that reclaim, because Team 1 is at now 750. They're still leading the game, and they're going to be leading the game probably for a little bit until Team 2 gets their backline situation up and running. We see a bunch of Team 3 missile launchers here for the Spearhead from the UEF faction, and they look at these missiles. They're just pumping out damage. Looking at multiple facilities just going up in smoke. Units being forced back. Team 2's player of Resistance can't stand still, or he'll be assassinated due to the amount of missiles inbound. Sniper bots trying to curtail this force of Percy's. Percy's trying to shift westward to avoid those sniper bots. We do see a nice group of units here for falling. Again, just for defensive measures, and it's calm. Again, still hanging out. Hasn't gone for the Billy Nuke as of yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. He's very well known for doing the Billy Nuke. He's actually the one I was told that has suggested the Billy Nuke icon. We saw a couple games ago where he was launching Billy Nukes and had like a little tiny nuke symbol on it. He was the one that actually suggested that, and it was implemented by the devs, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that. He isn't producing a lot of mass. He's only at a 100, so maybe take a little bit for him to get to the Billy Nuke, but still killed off 31 units or structures in at 62,000, 6,200, not 1,000, 6,200 mass income. Or not mass, mass killed. That actually went up to 7,000. And he's launching those missiles out pretty quickly, I'd say. There's another one outbound. Again, Volcano's trying to be built to deal with that incoming threat of the missiles, but there goes, takes out a nice chunk of that mass income for Nomander, just constantly not allowing him to really build up. We have way more ecos, says Balance Slave. I don't think so. Team 1's still at 800. Team 2 is catching up. But again, Team 1's mainline player of Waffles Noob is producing 700 mass income, almost more than the entire team of Team 2. I mean, yeah, they have a lot of eco, I will say, but not as much as Team 1. We do see some artillery being thrown here from these Uthanas, and the units kind of sitting under multiple shield coverage, whether that be some parashields or some asylums, but just constantly throwing out those missiles, going after anything and everything. Facilities just going up in smoke and ash and rubble just due to the just onslaught of missiles. I don't even think volcanoes could stop. Well, at least a couple volcanoes. I think 5 or 6 might be enough, but with the, you know, burst fire of the spearheads, it really just constantly overwhelms TMD. The only thing to counter this is direct fire weaponry, which is what the artillery is doing. But they are staying underneath shield coverage, and this, again, force is just sitting here. It's not charging in head first. It's very, very cautious. But we do see a chicken online here for resistance. Does Waffles Noob know about it? Yes, he does. He sees that little circle icon, and his forces are retreating in the face of it. I think he selected all units by accident or something, because they're moving westward. They should be retreating. Oh, he realizes what he did and goes, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. He's not making AA can kill with gunships, says Dreamer, sorry, not Dreamer Lazy. Against Dreamer Lazy for Terrari. We do see again more spearheads just pumping out every which way. Look at all those yellow dots just running around the map here. Shield emplacements are going down. Oh, it takes out the Omni. That's gotta hurt the intel game there. There is a T2 over there to the west, but that was definitely well positioned here from Team 2's resistance. There is an Omni back online in the main line here for Team 1. I don't see any spicy plays as of yet. He's just pumping out either air facilities or spearheads or whatever the case may be. Otham's coming in to support that chicken pushing forward on this eastern side. It is, in terms of infrastructure, the weaker of the two sides here for Waffles Noob, so definitely the better side to attack. ASF's really getting built up very, very quickly here for Team 1. And it's starting to look like Team 1 in the driver's seat for most of this game, just due to the fact that 2 players died. I feel like it was, killing the highest rated player on the other team is a good strategy, of course, but just gave a ton of mass incoming infrastructure to Waffles Noob, so I don't know if that was the best play or not. Missiles still raining in. These units kind of just getting bogged down by the pathfinding, and of course the chicken is a little bit slow, so they're just kind of stopping and waiting. And as they walk in, multiple units in the back line getting taken up by missiles. Oh, there goes another lightning tank just due to the spam of those lightning tank. Oh, yeah, by the way, don't set your ASF in front of a chicken. Probably not the best idea there. ASF's not the best idea, but this chicken's going to push all the way forward, take out a couple of T2 Mechs, but honestly, it shouldn't push any far forward because it's just going to, again, make it very easy for Team 1 to just scoop up the mass once that chicken is dead. The best thing for Resistance to do is to hold, build up defenses, build up infrastructure, but no, he's just going to keep going for it. Yeah, I mean, going for 4 Mechs right here, that's probably where you should stop. Don't go any further in. I think that's what Team 1 is waiting for. He's waiting to move in. We do see that Colossus is being built very, very quickly here by those engineers. It's going up pretty quick. It should be finished before the chicken it's going to be... no, it's not going to be close. No, the chicken retreats. The gunship horde is inbound, going after the AA from those lightning tanks. Multiple of them are going down, though. Those gunships need to be very, very quick to deal with those lightning tanks. One more over here to the east, and that will be just, again, free time to just go after anything and everything here, and the thousands of hit points being taken out. And that chicken is not going to make it home, unfortunately. The ASFs from Team 2 need to intercept if they want to save that chicken, which they won't. More lightning tanks coming into range, but a couple of those gunships detach and go after those AA. There goes that chicken. It's down in the red, and it is not going anywhere. There it is in the middle of that base, and on top of the deaths, or the dead bodies of both Rayla and Balanced Slave. And there goes some Autumns as well. Tons of mass to scoop up here for Team 1. Team 2 probably will not get access to this, unfortunately. And that was essentially a 2 million or 2 billion. Can't do the number for Resistance. Yes, this Balanced Slave. That's not great for Team 2. They need to get in the air game, and that's either two ways. Just outproduce, outperform Team 1, or just build a ton of AA. And usually it's a little bit of both, but in this case it might be more of just the AA emplacements rather than going after ASF production. Let's see, there's only about, 3, 4, 5, 6 facilities online. Team 1 has, well, a lot more than that. 5, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17. I mean, almost triple the amount of ASF producing facilities. I'm surprised that Team 1's Waffles hasn't gone for strat bombers. He's gone for a lot of gunships, which I guess does work. But, I mean, I don't see a lot of strat bombers nowadays. It's very sad. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could be taken out. You get those gunships back in the, backline. T3 Mechs is just unprotected by AA. There's no shields. There's a couple of AA facilities, a couple of SAM sites. Or actually, that's direct fire T3 anti-air. No SAMs. But the Seraphim don't have SAMs. They just have the one bolt that gets shot. There's a lot of potential for that, a lot of eco sniping, but Team 1, again, being very cautious with it. They don't want to just full charge into it. I do see, looks like there might be a movement towards some sort of goal. They could go after Resistance, but then again, that would essentially do exactly what Waffles Noob, benefited from, was the death of Terrari. I can push right, says Waffles Noob. He's going to have one more chicken, says Terrari. And I don't see the... Oh, the chicken is coming online, but I don't see another one, so it's going to be a minute. Get rid of that over there. It does look like the gunships will move in, go after Team 3 facilities, both in the Mechs department and the infrastructure. Producing lightning tanks, trying to ward off those ASFs and the gunships. Gunships go, again, not really worth it. But... get some air scouts online, but they're not going to get pretty close. You need to get groups of those biplanes / air scouts online to really make a difference. That Colossus standing stalwart in the middle of his army behind him with the gunships just flying behind him. Just pay no mind to the gunships flying behind me. They don't exist. They do not exist. Don't worry. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. And that base here for Team 1's Waffles Noob has stayed pretty strong here. A couple of T2 shields, a decent amount of Team 1 spam. A couple of T2 facilities just pumping out parashields. Just protect, protect, protect. Team 2, I mean, getting up that chicken once again. I don't see a Colossus yet here from Nomad. He's just still upgrading the T3 mechs. He's probably still being bombarded by the tactical missile comm of Fong. He's at 10,000 mass kills, so yeah, definitely been very annoying. He's killed off 41 units or structures, so probably structures for the most part. I mean, still 10,000, that's a chunk of mass, and he's constantly had to rebuild. We see Team 2 now. Well, is that reclaim related? Let's see, resistance. No, that is, no, that's mass income. So definitely all those Team 3 mechs in the backline really just pumping out the eco here for them. This could be the break that Team 2 needs to really just out-eco their opponents and build up something. Either that be a bunch of chickens or Colossus, or, you know, maybe it's a Fat Boy if some of those engineers escaped. But I don't see any efforts to win the game. Oh, there are some Strat Bombers, so maybe. There's definitely a tendency towards that. Novak spam, then focus air grid and experimental, says Terrari. I love that Terrari is being the man in the chair. Mechs is being upgraded as we speak here for Waffles Noob. He's still at 1.1k mass income. And again, the downside here for Team 1 has been the entire game, or for most part the entire game, is the deficit on APM. Because you're able, you know, with 3 players, you can divert, you know, you can essentially delegate more of the responsibilities. One player has the right side, one player has the middle, one player has the left. In this scenario, one player on Team 1 has both the middle and the right, while the other player has the left. And to be fair, the left really hasn't been that much of an issue here for Fong. I mean, he's not really, he's, you know, still about 100 mass under producing Nomander. But he's still just like, hey, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to build my missiles and call it a day. So really, we could probably see maybe more efforts from Nomander to push this western side. Again, there's, you know, a couple of units down here. But realistically, there's not a whole lot here that could stop a, you know, combined push from Dreamer Lazy. But the downside is, though, is that Dreamer Lazy diverts attention from the middle to the west, or the left side. It could open a door for Team 1's Waffles Noob to push in. But he's going more for long range, either that's missile launchers. He has a decent amount of Percy's, but he's not really aggressively using them. It's only for defensive measures. That chicken's going to just run right into some Percy's, though. That's probably not the best idea for your health. Percy's are sitting in a nice little bubble, though. Oh, the AoE. Oh, almost kills off 5 of them with one of those bursts. Oh, it's going to hurt. And again, that APM definitely not, definitely suffering here. We do see a second Colossus online here for Waffles Noob, though, in the right side. The chicken is pushing it on the middle. This force is going to just divest, just go north, go south, go west. Just scatter, essentially, here. I mean, just make strats as Rayla. Again, I made that comment earlier. Move something to the top. Nah, strats wouldn't work. No, there's too much AA coverage, and it's all overlapping, essentially. You can see AA coverage just very spread out. Same here for resistance. Just really spreading out that, I mean, he has some, but you can see that's layered here, and then it's layered back there. It really just makes it hard for strats to really do a lot of work. The downside, of course, with T3 is that if you have gunships, it's not as, it's effective, but it's not as effective as T2. Because gunships like to sit there and kind of go back and forth. And so if the gunships are moving to a target, they're, you know, it's better for T3, but for, you know, for defending just a local area, T2 against gunships definitely is the better call. But I would say mixing in both T3 and T2, not just doing one or the other, definitely a both. But we do see that army here from Dreamer Lazy getting a ton of value out of it, mostly Autumns. And this defending force here from Waffles Noob, I mean, it's not enough to deal with just the pure damage and HP of Dreamer Lazy's forces. There are some Percy's moving in. They are grouped up, though, so that AoE cannon can do a ton of damage. But the Percy's are falling back in the face of that chicken. They don't want to be killed off that easily, though. Those gunships, I mean, they've been built up for a while. I don't know how many of them he has now. He's at 40, still at 47, 273 ASFs here. For him, Team 2's Nomander has 123 and 5 strats, so not that many. It's definitely a 2-to-1, if not close to a, it's about probably a 2.5-to-1. We do see an attack outbound here from Fong, just kind of sniping at what's over here for Team 2's Nomander. Again, going for the same strat that Waffles noob is just spam missiles and overwhelm the volcanoes. There's only so much volcanoes can do. Charge with Perseus. We do see those Oblivion PD opening up. There are a couple of sniper bots as well. Gunship. This one says Terrari. And yeah. Oh, we see the Billy Nuke. Team 1's Fong has the Billy Nuke. There it is. I think that's his signature. But a 1v1 between a chicken and a Colossus will always be won by the chicken, especially by the Colossus, especially if the chicken turns and runs. The gunships do want to move in, but there's some AA coverage here to the west. There's a decent amount of lightning tanks. The first Colossus is kind of being not really double teamed, but there is a potentiality for that Colossus for being double teamed. There's a third chicken outbound from Resistance, and there's an artillery online for Team 2. There it is. The T3 Hubbatham is online. Now he's going to pump out some experimental chicken bots. Team 1, are you building anything of note? No. Air grid. That's a huge target. We do see some Novaxes coming online. That's really it. Team 1 doesn't have a counter for it as of yet. They have a ton of gunships. And again, Team 2 has had a lot of time to build up defenses to the gunships and to the just air in general. It really gets nullified. It's now become essentially a ground game. And I feel like Team 2 slightly... there's a couple of Colossi down here and one over there. Team 2 probably has a slight advantage, I would say. But, I mean, there is a resurgence in the west here for Team 1's Fong. And there is a couple of Cougars. Looks like they were the ones that were targeted. I was going to say, is a missile going to hit a bomber? That'd be very interesting to see, but it did not happen. Move the strats and stop making them. What? Looks like the air grid is the main target. Oh, there's not a lot of shielding around that air grid. A couple of nice shots will take that out. He still has that SMD online. Team 2 hasn't gone for the nuclear option as of yet, but somebody at some point's got to make one nuke, right? I got to say kaboom. That's like almost my signature. Well, one of my signatures here for FAF is the whole kaboom. But, artillery radiant takes out the hydrocarbon here. Not really a huge issue at this stage in the game. That can be an issue. T3 trying to be built up more. Shields are being built. You need to build them all around in the middle, on top of one another, inside, outside, turned upside down. But 5 Colossi moving to the front line. There's 4 chickens. I don't think that's enough defenses for 4. I mean, again, 5 Colossi. If they all engage at the same time, the 5 Colossus will win. If one of the chickens does decide to just full send it into the Colossi, maybe it will tip the scales a little bit, but I don't know if it'll be enough. But there is a nice little nuclear option coming online here for Fong. Trying to assassinate that chicken at 2-star veterancy. Multiple T3 AA is being built, bearing the gunships moving in. All of the forces here from Resistance, or at least most of them, moving westward to just ball up right here. One just nuke could kill everything here. Oh, there's an SMD, so not loaded though. That's not really helpful for an SMD that's not loaded. But we could... Oh, that's a lot of strats. But there is a Mayvor coming online here for Waffles Noob. Mayvor says Balance Slave. He sees it. Billy Nuke still launching constantly, not letting Team 2 rest. That's going to be a nice engagement here. These units are going to move. But how many? Oh, no. Oh, maybe they're going to move. Maybe. We'll see. Some units are moving. Some are not. And there goes that Billy Nuke. This is where the... that Loyalist would come in handy. Takes out a couple of T3 Othams, now at 27,000 mass killed. I think this game is before the implementation of the nuclear symbol for the Billy Nuke, because I didn't see it that time. It is pretty small, to be fair, but I do think that this game is before that. There isn't, like, I don't go in chronological order for my casts. I kind of just have a list of them and go, like, that'd be a good one today, that'd be a good one tomorrow, that kind of thing. And not just pick on, okay, what's oldest and newest. Artillery, another one going to be built. It's now an emissary. Second artillery now online as well here for Dreamer Lazy. He's going for that game, and not game ender strat, but the long-term, long-range artillery game. Team 1, again, needs to counter this. Third artillery, says Rayla. Yep, that's definitely what's going on. Team 1's Mayvor is at 30. Well, it's closing in on 50%, so I'd say about probably 35, 40%. But that artillery going after the air grid specifically, if they can knock the air grid out, that could be it. Chicken rushing in a couple of those Colossi will kill probably one of them with the Ion Storm. And we do see a ton of T3 artillery fire raining in on this position. Oh, go at the Colossus. Oh, it's going to hurt. Oh, it's just getting its back singed by that Ion Storm. But honestly, not as bad as I thought it would be. Usually I will move the Fat Boy. We'll get it sniped. As long as we dump mass the T3 arty, we win, says Nomander. Wait, no. He has one shield on artillery. This is brutal. Go or no. Artillery now raining in on that Mavor. There's multiple shields, not one. I was going to say there should be more than just one. There isn't telemaser threat just due to the fact there are no Cybrans, so definitely not something our players have to think about. But Emissary now crossing into the yellow. More shields are going to be built. They have to protect against that Mavor, but that Mavor does a ton of damage. Strat Bombers are going after that group of Perseus. Don't know why they're going after that, but they are. And the gunship's now going to... Oh, are they going to move in? Are they going to move in? Are they going to do it? Oh, they're going to do it. Oh, oh. Strat Bombers are moving in as well. It's a gunship and Strat Bombers. ASF's getting into the back of those bombers. The gunship's shifting right. ASF's now engaged over the top of Team 2's AA. There's not a whole lot of AA, but it's definitely better than nothing. Strat Bombers don't know where they went. Oh, they're in the mix. They're being targeted by the AA and those ASFs. Gunships are going after that artillery. Will they have enough firepower to kill it off? Maybe they... a lot of the Strat Bombers have died off. Gunships going after... They need to go after the pigeons, but they're going straight after those artillery pieces. Going after the second one. There's still some gunships left. Oh, they should have gone after the T3 pigeons. That would have been a lot more value out of them, but there's more gunships over here to the right. Oh, just target it. Just target the pigeons. Cascade. I know there's a lot of engineers. I get it. But they didn't task onto that second artillery piece. So Team 2 loses one, but they lost. Team 1 lost a lot of ASFs, essentially all of them, I think. Oh, let's check the numbers. Waffles Noob is at 4. So, yes, all of them. And Team 2 has, let's see, 1. No, none. No, they have 9. Okay. Still, I mean... Essentially, the air has been knocked up, but we see some Perseus now charging. But they're actually going to be forced back by some Harbingers. This is enough to deal with that. I love how there's just Absolvers shooting, because why not? I mean, they have a long range. They're going after units that have no shields. I mean, I don't know if that was really worth it. One artillery piece still online. Second one going to be rebuilt very quickly. Now the Emissary is online. This is probably the more deadly of the two, to be fair. It's probably my favorite T3 artillery. Just the secondary pulse that happens is just devastating. 43 minutes and 55 seconds. The Mavor is about to finish. This could be Team 1 saving, or this essentially it's a Hail Mary pass or shot. Okay, Artie is the priority target, says Terrari. Oh, you figured that out, Terrari. It's been a primary target for a while. After Mavor, go for T3 artillery, Aeon or UEF. I would definitely go Aeon for the Emissary. Doesn't matter. No, I would go Emissary. Just the secondary pulse that happens is devastating the shields. The Mavor is almost completed. I'm zooming in for dramatic effect. The shields are going down. The Mavor fully extends its barrel. There it goes. Shields. More shield. No. You need to prioritize. Yeah, you can try to assist the shields as best you want. You have 2 artillery shooting at you. You need more coverage. I don't know about that. The Mavor does start to turn. 2 artillery impacting almost simultaneously. Oh, it takes out a couple of triads that are being built. Probably should build more shields instead of... I mean, I get it. You're dealing against any sort of artillery. Or not artillery, but some teleportation. But a YOLO coming online here for resistance. That's half done. I don't... it's not shielded, and there's a lot of engineers on it. Does Team 1 notice? Oh, Scout with eye. Oh, I wonder what's going on. There is the Mavor in all of its glory. The T3 artillery building next to it goes, nope. This is my T4 artillery here. Its name is the Mavor, and it will crush your hopes and dreams. There goes the artillery impacting across the other side of the map. There from Shields, the best choice. Of course, they have the highest shield capacity, but that Maver is going to start ripping through them. If it's it should be targeting it. If it doesn't, I don't know what they're doing, but it looks like they are. You can see the shield kind of whizzle. I like how there's kind of like a back and forth. The shields are staying online. They're getting heavily assisted, though. So it could be a little bit of time. It's 4th artillery going to be built by Dreamer Lazy. Probably should focus more on this YOLO. YOLO actually in the green. Team 2 could win this with the YOLO if it's not detected or not targeted soon. Oh, the shields are falling. That primary shield. Oh, it's done. The shields are down. At least most of them are. More shields are popping back online. I mean, yeah, that's the downside again with 3 artillery. It's constantly FU, but the Mavor kills off all of the artillery except for 1. The emissary is still online. Actually hits in the middle of that. Barely misses that emissary. Ping's going down here. The YOLO is about to finish. Opening, says Fong. I mean, probably not. There's a lot of attention towards the middle of that. Tons of chickens just trying to reinforce this position. And there goes the emissary. It is down. Takes out all the mass with it. That's why I said Dreamer should probably just focus on the YOLO at this point. Where is that next artillery going to... Nope. Yep. Well, I know where it's going. That artillery is going to go right for that YOLO. It's going to finish. And that's going to be a big explosion. It might kill 2 comms. Long how much mass killed on ACU. Rayla asks. I mean, Fong is, again, known for using his comm effectively like that. 69,000 mass. Nice. No more shields. Need SMD, says Terrari. Well, okay, Terrari, you say that. But as long as you can probably ward off a couple of those YOLO shots, it might not matter. Because the artillery from the Mavor is just going to crush the shielding. So, oh, and there it goes. Boom! Takes out the YOLO and a comm here. That is resistance going down to that Mavor shot. Can you make a Novax bomb? Oh. Says Waffles Noob. There goes the other shot. Going to take out the rest of the mass from the YOLO. Oh, man, this game is flip-flop. Team 2 had a chance to get back into it, but that Mavor finished, which means, and it got enough shielding to protect itself. SMD is going to be built. Doesn't really work out anymore. Just push with land, and if it works, it works as Balance Slave. And we do see that push outbound here from Dreamer Lazy with all of those units, but we see 5 Colossi standing again, stalwart in the defense of their homeland. But again, 2 chickens, not going to be enough. Mass Fat Boys now, says Terrari. I mean, again, I don't really see that. How do you even know if I denied every scout in existence, says resistance? The eye, or you know, obviously there's the Omni sensor that could probably see all the little icons for the engineers. I told him to scout it. Read again. Something about scouting. Eye, says Waffle Zoom. See, that makes more sense. It was definitely seen beforehand, and then the eye went boop. T3 Quantum Optics Facility. I see. Anyway, lamest game. No, it's not lame. It was good. It was a good game, I feel like. 48 minutes on the clock. Huge land push outbound here from Team 2. Ton of sniper bots. Look at all those sniper bots. And nuts. How many of them are there, actually, I wonder? There are 39 Seraphim sniper bots. That's a lot. That is a lot of firepower. I wonder how fast I'd kill a Colossus if that was in range. But there's now a nice little squad of Colossus to the east. And again, that 5 Colossi in the middle. Another chicken goes down. And all of those units focusing on that chicken. Second one already dead. There goes that YOLO. Going to impact. Going to kill a ton of well, actually, no. It's not going to go. Pretty much Rezi had the first T4. Yeah, I did. Playing at 1 FPS is no matter. That's never fun. Don't play at 1 FPS. That's not good. Don't do that. Would not recommend. And there goes the YOLO. The Billy Nuke. And Fong now at 89,000 mass killed. He might cross 1,000 before the game is over. Sorry, 100,000, not 1,000. He's at 1,000. The Mavor hit 5 stacked GCs. What? It auto-fired there? That's weird. Why? Can it hit something that close? Oh, yeah, I could hit that. Right there. Huh. Weird. Don't know why it fired there, but do we see any sort of buildup in the back? No more artillery, no more, realistically, anything else. Looks like there's a teleportation coming online here for Dreamer. Going after the Mavor. Nope, actually going to go after the comm. It looks like the comm of Waffles Noob goes, nope. And he's already bombing the site where Dreamer's going to teleport in. T2, T3, T1 PD opening up. Dreamer Lazy trying to catch up to that commander. And it's not going to matter. There he goes up in holy hellfire. And Dreamer Lazy is defeated by Waffles Noob. But it looks like Nomander also control case at the same time, which means Team 1 wins the game. Nomander through, says Balance Slave. And Nomander says, forget you, man. But in terms of MVP, I feel like Waffles Noob, I mean, he kind of got gifted, you know, a ton of mass earlier on. It really propelled his mid to late game. His end game, he built the Mavor. It was very close to not being finished. Or not being finished, not actually staying online just due to the triple artillery shoving down his throat. But in the end, it just came down to, I feel like Team 2 probably should have cut their losses at some point with the artillery and went for the Mavor. The YOLO that probably would have benefited them a little bit more. Team 1 had, I think, this SM. Nope, that's the new one. There was one SMD that was built. That one had 3. This is the one over here. It had 4, so probably about 3. About 2 or 3 YOLOs would have been probably enough. Maybe 3 YOLO nukes would have been enough to crack that position. So, like, yeah, I do get the idea of just constantly pumping out artillery, but the YOLO was almost finished too. So maybe Dreamer Lazy probably should have shifted in that direction. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what you felt about the game. And again, whether you agree or disagree with my pick for Waffles Noob as MVP. Let me know down in the comments about the game overall, how you felt about it, how you felt about my casting, or comments, questions, concerns about anything FAF related. Please, if I don't have the answer, somebody will have the answer. So I do appreciate the answering of questions, but I don't know as much. Of course, 250 casts in, and I will still learn more every single day about this game. Thank you so much for watching. Please, of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe, like the video, share it with anyone, everyone, especially your pets, and I will see all of you in the next one.